Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So, this is part one of my visit to Click Antiques in Northampton. I did a lot of filming. Only problem is, this is a new camera. I've never used it for this before. I've already had to chuck a couple of bits of film away. Yeah, theoretically, the angle of this camera, it's supposed to be the same as my old phone, but it's not. So the depth of field is not the same. I'm using a microphone now, and I'm finding that like having my phone in my pocket is making a noise, and yeah. So I apologise. The other thing is that this camera doesn't pan as quickly as my old phone either, even though this is a proper camera. So I'm going to have to learn to be a bit more careful with it when I'm panning. So yeah, it's just going to take a bit more practice. You know, when you've got I think I've got like 250 films now, and I've been using the old phone camera all that time. Yeah, you just need to get used to new tools, and so I'm sorry, the quality in the last out and about that I did was terrible because I just used a substitute phone that I just had to use on the day because my old phone broke, and this one's a bit iffy in places and not coming out how I'd like it to, but I'm sure I'm going to get better. Yes, anyway, it's the content, it's all about the content. Yes, so anyway, with that said, let's get on, because there's lots and lots of nice glass at Click Antiques and other bits and pieces. Yeah, there's even a piece of pottery in this one. Yeah, but it's like a piece of glass, but it's a piece of pottery. Anyway, with that said, let's get on and have a look at some glass. So here I am. I'm at Click Antiques. Can you see it? There we go. Yeah, I'm getting used to this new camera. And yeah, it's off Milton Street, or on Milton Street I should say, which is off the Kettering Road, which is just down there behind me. Yeah, so you can park out on Milton Street, or it's got a few parking spaces inside if you miss. Click Antiques is like, it's a big warehouse really. If you look behind me, can you see? Yeah, so it's a decent sized place. It usually has quite a lot of good dealers in there. I used to like to start in the back corner because that's where the best glass is, but we'll see if it's crowded or what. But anyway, I haven't been for a week or two, and yeah, there might be something new, but I haven't filmed here for about a year. So yeah, let's see how this is. So this is what it's like here. Here. And then goes all the way down there, bits on each side. It's nice and wide, as you can see. And when I said I like to start in the back, yeah, this is where I maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but this is where I get most of my buys from. But we'll see what there is. So you've got your classic Dartington daisy vase here. In fact, he's calling it classic, but yeah, I can look that up and give you a date for that. But also here is this. Now, it says finger bowl. I've seen one of these, okay, being used as a rinser. There was a picture. It was actually early Victorian picture, one of the earliest pictures, and it had a rinser in it, but it didn't have any lips on it, so there was a glass in it upside down in water. That picture came up on Facebook. I foolishly didn't keep a copy of it. I could have shown you it, but anyway, but I will look up the Dartington. The book we're looking at is Dartington Glass, The First 20 Years by Linda and Stuart Smithson. Yeah, and this is the little vase that we're looking at. Is it a vase? Candle holder. Yeah, oh no, yeah, it is a candle. Square daisy candle holder with a square at the bottom. And it's a very early one, so Dartington only started in 1967. So yeah, it's a nice early one. And it comes in clear, midnight and kingfisher, and these will be the midnight and kingfisher colours. So there you go. 1968, nice and early for Dartington. Got another bit of Dartington here, little candle holder. But I don't know about this, but this is something I could probably try and find. Oh, it's got thistles on it. I wonder if that means it's not American. It's a bit softer than usual. 4 legs, it's got a little bit of foliage on the bottom, looks like a bit of thorns or something. Yeah, that's quite interesting piece. I'll try and find that one. My usual sites failed me, so yeah, I did my David Dotty, and then which I normally find things in. Then I went to Carnival Glass, no, it failed. So I googled and I found this site, Carnival Glass Worldwide. Yes. So, and here it is. This is the actual bowl we're looking at. You can see it still has the same sort of, I think this pattern in armorial terms, this is called a ragged staff. Don't know what it's called here, but that's what it's called. And it's got the thistles, with you can see the big thistle there and the big thistle leaf here. Anyway, so it looks like it's part of a 3-piece set for your, no teapot obviously, because that's not going to work in this, but you've got your cream jug, sugar bowl, and your biscuit dish, I suppose. Anyway, that's what it's called. It's called Thistle and Thorn, and the reason it's not in the American websites is because it's by Greener and Co. from Sunderland, and it dates between, they say, 1778 to the mid 1800s. So yeah, that's a really nice old piece then, and that's why I probably haven't seen it before, because it's pretty old for Carnival Glass. And yeah, this is a good site. I'm gonna dive into this because look at this. It's got, not just has it got like the usual Yankee jobs up here, but it's got other countries. Look at this. Yeah, worldwide. When they said worldwide, they meant worldwide. So really interesting. I am going to be having a good play on this site. Oh, look, they've even got, God, I didn't even scroll down this far, Indian Carnival and South American. What the? Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to have some fun looking at this one. I'm sure there may be things when I never find them. This is the place to come. It might be, if you can search on it and do other things with it, it might be the first place to come. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, it's Thistle and Thorn by Greener and Co. 1878 to 1880s. Got some stoppers. I looked at these last time I was here. There's no new ones. In fact, I think there's less than there were before. So you have to look, though. You have to look. There might be something good. So the bottle, yeah, I didn't find the bottle. I looked really hard. I thought it might be Costa Boda, but no, I've looked at quite a lot of Costa Boda now and didn't find it. It's such an unusual thing. I think it's a good thing, but yeah, you're buying things without context. It didn't even have a price on it anyway, so that's, yeah, that would be whistling in the wind, trying to find out what that is without some prior knowledge, I think, because it's such an unusual piece, but there's a lot of work in it. Anyway, the paperweights, I thought, okay, for that segment, let's have a look at the paperweight, because I don't really look up those paperweights. And I did actually Google. I didn't find very many. I thought a whole pile of them would appear. They don't. But I found this signed one on eBay. for £20. So how big is it? Let's see if he says how big it is. 3 inches. So that was big. That was like for me, and I'm tall, I've got long fingers and stuff. That was more than 3 inches across. That was more like about 4, which means it's because it was a pretty substantial paperweight, that one. So if this is anything to go by, this is a sea and sand one. He's calling it I've seen some of them call it a sea urchin one, where it's got these lines like this, but it's still sea and sand as in the colour. The other one had more sand than this one, but underneath it still had these stripes. So yeah, I'm happy that it's a Medina one. It's not signed. I wouldn't be shocked if someone like Matafa or Phoenician were also making them exactly the same. But anyway, I think it's a Medina one, and we'll stick with that. Barely moving on to the next cubby hole. Here is a lump and a half. Has it got anything written underneath? Yeah, it's not. Doesn't have a poncle mark. It's not quality made. It's a bit like a Scandinavian piece, but yeah, I don't know what that is. So that's going back. So what we've got here is a web. Oh God, it's marked as well. Yeah, it's a web. I think it's a fir cone one, not definite, because it's very indistinct, the moulded pattern, but it's probably Edwardian, little finger bowl. I don't think originally they've just put it in there. Nothing. This is interesting too. Let's move this little tiny bear. It says handmade by C of Sweden. I can't remember what C stands for, but I can look that up. I think I have some catalogues for them too. This is an advert that I've cut and pasted out of the Pottery Gazette from March 1906. It's a Thomas Webb one for the fir cone suite. It's even got a patent number there, 27440, and this is the little finger bowl we were looking at. Now, the fir cone pattern came out in 1903, and when it just says Webb like that on its own, that's 1906 to 1935. So yeah, that's quite nice. So I think it's Edwardian though, so it's probably in that 1906 to 19. I don't know how much glass they made during the war, but it's probably 1906 to 1914 or something like that, which makes it an antique because that makes it 100 even. Anyway, it's fir cone. We know it's probably one of the original patterns looking at this because this is in 1906. You could probably put a 1903 date on it, but because it's marked, the earliest date you could put on it would be 1906. So 1906, so it's definitely could be classified as an antique. Yeah, don't see them very often. Definitely not with the single web mark. Back in those days, not very much of their glass was actually marked. So you'll see lots of, I mean, I've got like a bunch of these glasses somewhere in my shed, and I don't think any of them are marked. So yeah, they don't. And in fact, I've got a bunch of decanters with a slightly different top here, which I think are a bit later, and none of those are marked, but they're all the fir cone pattern. So yeah, that just shows you loads of web stuff wasn't marked. You just have to, I'm afraid, know the patterns. And when you do see something that's marked, have a really good look at it, have a handle of it, and make sure I know this colour, I know this pattern, I know this shape, etc., etc. And you can then use that to extrapolate when you see other things that might be web. So I do have a catalogue for C. It's for 2006 and it's not in there. So Googled as usual, and I found this on Etsy. It's sold for £16.80. What's interesting here is that it's given quite a good write-up. So got, yeah, sea glass, but we knew that already. It's got the label on, it's just down here. so they could clearly see that. But it says Rune Strand, and Rune Strand is designed by Rune Strand, who worked for C 1960 to 2000 and was bought by Orifice in 1986. Series of bag vases. I did see some other shapes, and it's telling you what book they found it in. So yes, that's what you want to see. Even the page number, so you can go and check for yourself. I'm going to see if this book's cheap, if it's any good, because I've not seen that before. But anyway, yeah, that pins it down. I did actually look up Rune Strand, and I don't know if that's a girl's name or not, but she did appear on 20th Century Glass, but they don't tell you any more about it. This is something else they've done, and it's another blown item that's blown into some sort of textured mould. So that's looking like the kind of thing that they did. Yeah, don't think I could say any more than that. So yeah, I'm interested in this. And C is actually the name of the different founders. It's the initials of their surnames. I'm not going to go and dig that out again, but anyway, that's what it is. When I was here over a year ago, there was a whole bunch of black pressed glass. There's one piece left, so yeah, it did sell. But there's also this, it wasn't here last time, little slag glass, little match holder or something. It's too big to be Sowerby slag. I can look that up, get a date on it, see if there's a pattern number or anything. Yeah, £6. That seems quite, for a nice little bit of Sowerby. That's Victorian Sowerby. That seems like a nice little price. This is the Sowerby 1880 catalogue, downloaded from Victorian Press Glass website, and yeah, so I couldn't find that little match holder, but I think this is the period it's from, because there's a lot of like classical type stuff like this and this. There was another little three. Where has it gone? I've lost track of it. Anyway, there are other little things that are like match holders in there. There's another little classical thing there with 3 legs. Yeah, so I think this is the period it's from. This is the kind of thing it is. There is a colour version of this page here. Let me go here, which is, there's less of the catalogue in this, but this is what it's called. It's blue malachite is what they're calling it. Vitru porcelain. It's glass. And effectively they've done this by mixing the colours of the glass by hand, and then wedging it into a press mould. And there is a certain amount of skill in this, because if you overmix it, it just becomes one colour, and if you undermix it, you just end up with like blocks of white and blocks of blue. So yeah, there is some, yeah, you just go, oh yeah, it's just press glass, boof. But someone's got to do this at the right moment, otherwise it's just a widget-washy mess, or it's big chunks of colour to get it to look like this malachite, I presume. Because also, if you go down here, I presume when it gets to me, and I'm going the wrong way, go back. I presume, no, it's not here. In one of the others, there's pale blue, and I imagine what happens is when the colours get too mixed up, they just use it to create a pale blue colour, and there you go. We've not wasted any of the molten glass that we've made. A little piece of Victorian glass there, and these are interesting little candle holders, because they've got labels on, and they're Jack V. I know this is from Finland. Hang on, in tiny writing there, just underneath it says made in Finland. Yeah. I'll see if I can find these, because I've not seen those before. You don't see much of, I mean, I don't really know their work, to tell the truth, but you don't see much of it. I don't think I've ever seen that label before. So yeah, I'll try and find that. Nutajavi is not a well-known manufacturer in the UK. It's from Finland. I don't have any catalogues or any really good references, so I just Googled away and I found this on sale in the US. Buy it now for $39. It's the box with the two same candles in it. Dun, dun, dun. What they do know is who the designer is. Kertu Minen, because it's written here on the box, which is why boxes are good. There's no year though. So that's, they've just told you a little bit about the designer here. I couldn't find anything to pin it down any closer than anything, so I just went and Wikipedia'd Kertu Numinen, and that didn't really help me that much either, because she worked as a designer for Nutajavi from 1972 to 2007, which is a long time. And then she worked for Itala. So yeah, in fact, it says here she was the last monthly paid designer for Itala. So anyway, that's doesn't help me pin down the age of those candle holders. The box looks like it's about, design wise, looks like it's from the 90s, I think. So yeah, let's go with that. So it's pottery. It's a carafe. It should have a top, which would have like a little disc and a smaller disc on top of it. This is a water cooler. See, it's got a porous surface. When you put the water in it, it sweats, and that cools the water inside it. So this is before refrigeration. I think they come with a little stand as well. So it's still got this little stand, and it's trying to be like an Etruscan piece. I think these are Whatcom pottery. I don't think I have a reference for Whatcom, but I do have a reference for them from about 1880. So I can show you these in a Victorian catalogue. Yeah, we'll have a look at that. This is the Victorian Pattern Glass and China book. It's actually a facsimile for a department store called Silver and Fleming, and yeah, so the carafe that we were looking at, it says there water cooler and stand. Now I suspect a lot of them were made, because how would you get your water cooled pre-refrigeration? Basically these bottles are designed to sweat, they're porous, but because effectively they've got water evaporating off the surface of them all the time, the life expectancy of a terracotta pot carafe like this wouldn't be huge, I suspect. I mean, first time it got ever frozen, even if it didn't have any water within it, the water within the surface, it would probably crack it apart. Anyway, beside the point, this is you see they all come on a little tray, top like this. I think this book is from about 1881. It doesn't say in the book, but I found a reference within it to 1881. So yeah, and yeah, so there's lots of different patterns. Here's one that's more like a Greek Etruscan pattern that I was talking about. Some of these are a bit more aesthetic, but then you've got Greek key. That one's like a Greek one, and you've got a plain one. So yeah, those ones are more Greek Etruscan as well. Basically that's where they were making terracotta pots and painting them either black or white and stuff like that back in BC days. So anyway, I'm going to show you something online now, because I did have a look online. Although this is from a retail store, I believe the pottery they came from is called Whatcom. I can't find a reference for that. So I was looking online to see if I could find a reference to the pottery. I couldn't, but I did find this one, which is just like the one we were looking at, and this one. And also I went into eBay and I found this one for $69.99. This one doesn't have the little dish that it should sit on, but it does have a top. Now the dish that it sits on is to stop, if you think it's sweating water all the time, you don't want that sitting on a wooden table or anything like that, because it would create a damp patch underneath. So that's what the little dish is for. So $69.99. And then look at this. This one, which has got a dish but no lid, is in the US it's $175. Okay, right. Then the one that is just like the one that we were looking at, yeah, it says it's unavailable, but it was on for $182.69. Pounds, sorry. So that's probably like $500 that they were asking for that when it was for sale. See what it's like. Yeah, so this one doesn't have a dish or a lid, and you can see it's got the little fighting people on it like the other one we were looking at. So yeah, I think this is on First Dibs. So yeah, they're wacky prices. I wouldn't trust them. So yeah, it's really out there, but someone is liking them somewhere, because even in the UK, this little one here, 70 quid. And I think they're a good thing. I think they are probably rare, because if they were used a lot, they would get all white on the outside from all the salt that's bleeding through the water that's evaporating off the surface. And that's probably how most of them met their demise, through all of the water evaporating off the surface of them. Fairly standard piece of web here. Question is it marked? Let me get this car out of the way. This is a web bullseye. Is it marked? Yes. Web England. You can actually, first time ever, I don't know if you can see, can you see a little bit of the mould? I never see the mould. Usually they press it off, rub it off, and you can see that it's actually, these bullseye are done with a 4-part mould. So that's really unusual to see that. And then actually another piece of web here. This is ribbonette. I would buy this because I have a lot of ribbonette, but I actually already have a jug this colour. If it was a different colour, for £8, this would be mine. But I have glasses that are all different colours, and if I'm going to get another jug, I would like it to be a different colour. So I am totally cheating here. I'm using my own website as a reference. Yay. So I'm going to manufacturers, scroll down, Thomas Webb, and it just so happens that I have a section on bullseye and a section on ribbonette. So if we go into bullseye, yeah, I do have a bullseye bowl, but I don't think I've put it on here, so it'll go on eventually. But anyway, this is the color we were looking at. You can see when I say I don't have references and I'm using my website, in fact I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 references for this pattern in here. So yeah, some of them have less, some of them have more. So there you go. And it comes with lots of different shapes. So there's bowls, there's OG shaped bowls. So some of the bowls are shaped like, let me go back, like this. That one wasn't, but so a lot of them are. So you'll see bullseye bowls and that. And then let's go and have a look at Ribonette, because I think I actually have that jug, and which is why I didn't buy it, because I didn't want it in the same colour. There it is. Dun dun dun. 20th century glass, Charles Hadjimat. Anyway, there it is. Ribonette, pat number 331030. 2010, 1910, sorry, God, 1928. There you go. And I've got quite a lot of it. Even decanters, of course. I think I've got a pair of those. So anyway, that's what it is. Ribonette. And it has these little concave sized. And these come in different colours. I am looking for a nice coloured one, a green one, or a blue one, or an orange one, or something like that. Anyway, there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Yes, Click Antiques is a really good place. They're very friendly. I've bought a lot of stuff there over the years. Something of everything. I've even bought a clock in there, bought pottery, I bought furniture, and I bought a lot of glass in there as well. I've had quite a few bargains out of Click Antiques, and a few things that are actually, yeah, I want them kind of things, as well as the bargains. So yeah, it is a very good place. So with that said, contact details for Click Antiques will be in the description below. All the references I used will be in the description below as well. And please remember to like and subscribe, because it really helps my channel. I want to expand, bring more people into the glass buying field, or not buying, collecting. That's the word I'm looking for. Obviously, if they're collecting, they're buying, but you know what I mean. Anyway, we want to get more collectors and more people interested, and save more glass from the tip. Anyway, with that said, thank you for watching. Have a good night. Good night.